was actually a rock. No, she said it was an age change. What kind of pig it was,
What color was it?
black and white.
And the ham?
Yeah, that's what, yeah, that's,
Rotten.
Michelle, would you open us?
I was over it, by the time that's over.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just come to you today with many thanks and just looking to you for the sun that you shine down on us each and every day. We thank you for all that you do for us, for giving us a place to meet every Monday. We just ask for a blessing over everyone that's here. We ask a blessing for all of our public servants, that you just guide them and help them make good decisions. Again, we thank you for this beautiful weather. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Had a chance to look at the minutes from 22nd of September.
I would move that the meeting next week approved as presented. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried unanimous. Any questions on the payroll?
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried unanimous. Any question on the payroll?
Make a motion. Go ahead. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried unanimously. This is not in our payables, but, our survey charge to Cornerstone got hit up about that because we hadn't paid it. It was in our payables this week, but the financial lady at Cornerstone hit me up and asked me, what do you know about this bill? And that's where you apparently on your own
What up there?
ordered a survey in behalf of Cherokee County that we didn't approve.
No, it's that's that boy he was paying that.
He's paying it?
Yes.
Why was it billed to Cherokee County and ordered by
I don't know,
order?
but I mean, he was paying it. He's paid it.
No, not as of last week.
I'll give him a call. No, he was paying it.
Have no idea why the bill's in our name,
No,
with your name.
yeah, I was up there.
Who ordered it?
The state of Kansas was having that surveyed up there, and I was up there. No, I didn't order it. I went up there.
The state of Kansas didn't order this particular survey. This has nothing to do with that Skidmore project. The property borders that, but it has nothing to do with
Yeah,
that.
but
We
the-
ended that project last year. This was April of this year.
I was up there, yeah. The core deal, when we was up there on the core deal.
Again, it has nothing to do with that.
Here's the boys paying it right here.
And why did they get the idea that you ordered this in their name?
Well, I was up there that day, but I didn't order nothing.
Now, we'll have
Well, I'll take care of that, you know.
to, so were you part of the conversation when Mooney ordered it?
I was all up there, yeah, when they had to get, we was, the sheriff and all of us was up there.
So
The game warden.
did Mooney order that from Cornerstone while you were up there,
Warden he was having his place surveyed off at the time.
right?
Yeah,
This is his bill.
yeah, now he owns it,
Okay. Well, see if I
Yeah.
can get that straightened out.
yeah.
Cody, before you start, I got hit up again last week, the people at IHOP wanted me to tell you things.
There you go.
What happened was the gas company had dug up a couple of different spots months and months ago and promised that they were going to come back, you know how they do, they just move the neighbors off, and so,
No?
anyway, the highway department gave them a call and stayed with them when it got done a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I
They're
get 20
very
bucks.
grateful for that. What do you have for us?
Not much, asphalt crews on Northeast 30th, but we are finishing now. And the plan is to do it quicker. Asphalt plant's been very busy lately, so I guess they're finally starting to open up a little bit, so we can get hot and heavy on it before we go do as much as we can to it. That's pretty much all I have. Normal duties is always.
I done any warranty stuff on that truck.
I did. The issue is that's the other thing is, you know, if somebody says they want it today, they're gonna get it. That's the negative part about it, but I was told that our Freightliner quote would be in this week. So I'm gonna gamble and hope that it's still there the next week. I think it raised the payment $200 a month for a full warranty, so.
Still
there, yes, still. I think it was like, the yearly payment that I presented last week was 36,000 and change, and now it's like 37,000 and change. So, it's like $200 a month difference, which is worth it for a full warranty. So, I'm just waiting on other bids to get in, and then my plan is to present it again next Monday. We'll know this. That's all I have.
Talked to the guys at Caterpillar last Friday and was gigging them pretty hard. They said they'd have an update probably Wednesday, the 1st of October. Told them to get with you to get that update.
Cool. Thank you. I'll hang around for that road deal. That one.
Thank you, Cody.
Yep.
I don't really, anyone here with the bills?
You're outside, I'll grab them.
I'd like to say something about the road and bridge crew, if we could. I just want to give a huge kudos to them for helping us to find resources and various different things that we've needed to help out with our parks. We've needed some of that information and didn't know where to turn and where to get it. And Cody and his guys have been great in helping us to find some of those resources and to help us.
Perfect.
Thanks, Peyton.
Come on up, folks, we're early. If you're all here, are y'all?
We're here.
Okay, have a seat, wherever you want.
Well, you don't
You want to pull another?
I'm not.
How's your back? Good, sir. Well, I hope you're doing good. Cheese and grits or something, or you fusing together, or?
I don't know if you folks know Jake or
How are you? Jake and I.
council.
Great, Bill.
Did you fill out a
Yeah,
form?
there's
And
the form.
where does this go? Does this go to the clerk's office? Have you turned it in to anybody but us?
No, they told
Okay.
us just bring it this morning.
Okay, thank you.
Probably needs to be stamped as received by the clerk's office, and then it's up to the board to set it for a hearing. I probably need to look at it, make sure it's legally compliant.
Okay, this is what you're asking to vacate,
Yes,
and
that's, yeah.
which is the property,
This is our property right there.
and the one who is crossing over this,
He owns
right
this
here?
down in here, yeah.
Okay.
So the road doesn't
Literally right
actually
there.
go on his property, it ends in our property.
I'm over there meeting with,
So as, I hate that you guys are coming to no avail, but as we talked to last time, we're at a bit of a disadvantage. We knew you had to fill out paperwork, but as Jake just explained the process, so that needs to go to the clerk's office.
Yeah, so we'll need to stamp it as received, and then take a look at it.
Can you explain to Jake real quickly what your objection is, and why you want that vacated?
So we have owned our family has owned this property here for 75 years. And nobody has ever, that's supposedly a county road. It's never been maintained in the county, and they said they never will maintain it. We weren't even aware it was a road. So, we're wanting to have that maintained.
So you own this here?
Yes.
What about this?
No. There's a ditch that runs through that, and then the road is on our side of the ditch. So this is the road, and then it doesn't have any, it doesn't go up here. It doesn't go any further. It's only on our property right there. The next part of this road is like 3 miles of the road. So it's just that one section at the end of our property.
Who owns this?
It's Jake on the other side.
On the other side of the ditch.
Yeah.
He farms in there, he actually owns it.
We're not
or
sure who
Sure.
actually owns it.
Take that.
Also, Jake, he's the one that farms. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to pull up the maps and look at it. So, I mean, off the top of my head, you say it's on your side.
Yes.
Typically, the way that works though is your property goes up to that right of way. So it wouldn't be on your property, it would be
Yeah.
immediately adjacent to it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So then when you vacate it, it goes to adjoining property holders. So part of it would go to you, part of it would go to them, part of it would go to them. Like for the three that have.
So, but there's a ditch that runs through there that separates the road. The guy, one of the survey guys told me it was 50 feet on our side. He didn't say anything about on the other side. So here's the property where supposedly the road comes in here.
Like where these tracks are?
Yeah, this comes off of this Southwest Star Road right there. So you can see that it's not been used. Our guys have used it to go into our property to farm the crops. This is just a view from the same thing. So the road, I mean, several years ago, when my father was farming, the road that he used was over here. Well, since then, he made a couple other places to get into the field, so this really wasn't even used. This is another view that's from looking from the south to north. So if the road's there, this is what's all the road. Same way back here. This is the fence line that goes into the property south. So you can tell it's, like I said, we never even knew it was a road. It obviously hasn't been used.
Right. And why are you guys want to vacate it?
We just want it to be part of our property. We don't want anybody going down there. We have a pecan grove that's down here that people have went down through there and have stolen pecans from us. So. Yeah, there's an individual that's really given us problems about, he owned the property south of us, and a lot of property down there.
Over here?
Yeah, down here, and he sold all this to some people from Arkansas, and he basically landlocked himself. Now he's trying to force, or down here, I'm sorry. Now he's trying to force his way to get to use the road there, which again, as you can see what the road looks like.
paying for 100.
Yeah, he just kept 140 acres. I
Instead,
think he
340
owned
is the 100.
all of this. I mean, this is Oklahoma line there, but he owned all of this and he sold all but this 140. And he wants to be able to get there to hunt.
So this is north here.
This is north, yeah. Yeah, we own all of this here, that's our family farm right there, so, this would all be there, and then that's the Oklahoma line.
So he sold off this part here, and now this is.
Yeah, he only owns that part. When he sold off, because there was 2 or 3 ways to get to this property, but when he sold it, now the other people told him he's gotta find another way to get in there. Well, now he's wanting us to give him access to our field so we can drive through it to get down there.
Does Jake need that letter?
No. Yeah.
Okay. I think at this point, I could have the clerk stamp it, consider it received. We need to set it for a public hearing, and then I guess we'll get the public, or the notification, or the notice published on the hearing. I don't know if we have to send it directly to the adjacent landowners or not, but probably will. Because then they'll have a right to come to the hearing for the board to vacate, and you guys can make a decision on it. I'll look over there and get it stamped that way you guys don't get it.
We haven't taken any kind of vote. I know we do that as a resolution, but do we take a vote before to see, or just let the process take its?
The way the statute reads is once a petition is submitted, you set it for a hearing, a published notice of the hearing. You guys have to pay for the publication price on it. I think it's gotta be 2 or 3 weeks from the date it's first published. And then you don't make a decision until that public hearing phase.
It's a process.
Yeah, sure.
It's over to the clerk's office, you can stamp and get a copy of it, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody's here for our next one, are they?
Well, no, not too bad. Just 5 minutes. Let me go look see if they're out there. I don't see one. They may not show up.
Oh.
I don't know. It's the same people we had last week.
They were out there a minute ago.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they were out there a minute ago.
Built a house down
They
there,
moved down.
KC here and
Yes.
there.
Maybe they stepped outside. I don't know.
there's a copy, I'll take a look at it.
He never used the road, you know, he so if they say.
We're here.
Sorry about that, you guys said 9:45.
Oh, you're early, we're just,
Oh, we have you down for 9:25.
you're not late yet, we're early, we're
You
just,
might sit here and hear, because our
yeah, we have our counselor.
counselor, so you might grab us.
Yeah, we'll wait on him now.
Yeah.
We're just, Take Brett for the great weather.
It is nice today though, about time, all that rain we're getting.
Say your name, Arizona.
Well, I've been here since 14. She came up from Arizona my last visit.
They had a big storm there too, the past couple of days. My mom sent me a video.
Quite a bit of difference in the climate change, isn't it?
It's
Have you adjusted?
I acclimated the first week, only because of the humidity. It was hard to kind of breathe for a little bit.
When did you come?
Like the beginning of September.
Of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you haven't had a winter
I
yet.
have not.
Oh.
You have
I've been here.
winters there, but ours are a little more moist.
A little more shovel, and I hear with some snow.
I told her the winters here are like summers there, both deadly, right? So I like to leave here when it gets bad and go up there for the winter, and then when the summer hits, come back.
Pretty much like that.
I do like having 4 seasons.
It is.
Spring and fall never last long enough for me, they're my favorite.
Yeah, Northern Arizona has it, like Flagstaff area, it's really nice, Payson, there, it's kind of like this, like, fall seasons, you get rain and everything, snow, it's all really nice, like 78, like year round, like, so it's nicer out there. It's just hotter in Phoenix.
I like Phoenix, I don't like all the people. It's overcrowded if you know what I mean. I'd rather come out here, not have traffic going, an hour to go 5 miles. I like that.
Or helicopters, or ambulances,
All the time.
all the time. All the time.
You should have brought one back for our sheriff. Corey keeps thinking about buying one.
A helicopter?
Oh, that's fun. I was looking at
That's
a seat.
awesome.
What does he not own?
Yeah, you might as well.
He's got a lot,
You have your
lot of
pilot's
toys.
license?
Who?
Pilot license? You can get it. I have faith. It won't take you long.
I wanted to
Yeah,
get a
so-
single engine Cessna because they have those big tires. You can land on their fields out here. You don't need a runway. They actually came out with a new airplane that you don't even need a pilot's license for. It's a single person. It's like a drone. One big drone. You sit in there. And
He's like, wait, where is
We
it?
could probably put a helicopter pad on the roof here.
that's what a lot of people like. They're using to go into the cities and land on their skyscraper and go to work, so they don't have the traffic. And it's 100% like a smart car. You type in where you're going and it goes. I'm like, that's a little scary.
There was a video recently, just have to tell this, but it was like this huge drone that made this drop to pick up wild hogs. And it was obvious that it was AI, and it was the poorest AI you ever saw. Because none of the others scattered, and it was just like they were waiting to be.
When I went to Arizona, she ordered something from Amazon. Big old drone came and dropped in our backyard. Never seen that in my life. I was like, that was cool.
We
That
had
was cool.
just
Scared
cleaned
all
the
the dogs.
backyard, all the dust was everywhere.
I had to
Everywhere.
resweep our porch, but it was a cool sight.
Well, we have our counselor back. I want to bring him up to speed. Jake, last week, citizens were here, and they were complaining, as we've had many people over the years, about the late fees. for
Yeah, so I was
stuff.
streaming
Oh, okay.
that, so I heard most of it.
And so you were already up to date. So you're here today.
I'll let you go first.
Oh, we didn't get an update on what happened last week, what the outcome was for any of the fees or anything. Jody did not give us a.
Oh, I thought we made that clear here at
Okay.
the time that.
It ended off like you know where I stand from my standpoint, and then we were waiting for the gentleman, but that's
Where
where
it
we
stopped.
got. That's all I have.
We can take an official vote if that's what you want, but I thought
It's
kind
enough.
of made it clear. In fact, you even said that you would pay those,
Mhm.
but So your request is that we reduce part or?
Something, it's just like, for example, they all agreed that I can go on payments. They would like $100 for sewage, $100 for water. They said that the sewage said sewage said that they're willing to go down to 19 on your guys' behalf, which would be awesome. We went down to the water meeting that night, later that evening. They are willing to drop it down to almost $500. The stuff that they said that they've been cutting the locks off, which is coming from them. They said they haven't received a payment since like '09. And then I said, okay. They said, let us know if we decide to keep the house, because if we don't, they're gonna pull the meter. I said, how come you guys didn't pull the meter after your first year of not getting a payment, second year, maybe even your fifth year of not receiving the payment? You already said that they've been stealing water. So it's in my opinion, that's like a monopoly. If you knew they're stealing stuff, or I didn't pay my electric bill, they're gonna turn that sucker off. But
Okay, I need to separate this out again. We have nothing to do with the water part. The only thing we can address is the sewer. And I know Joni recommended a reduction, but I personally am opposed to it for the sole reason we've had these requests every year. And
I mean,
if we do it for one, we can't do it, we have to do it for everybody.
well, I understand that, but on your history of your guys' report, you guys already done it for somebody. And you guys didn't do it for us, and that's your guys' your deal, and we understand where you guys come from, but
Let me
even,
see what you're looking at.
but even that fourth, and to go on from there, it's just like, when you come down here and you ask all these offices and they say that it's included in this, and they give us wrongful information, whether you call that lying or misleading, we already talked to the lady again, she just says, I just told her, it's very easy to say you don't know. Instead of saying everything's right here, and then you go and talk to everybody, the water people and the sewage weren't even aware that the house was sold until its last meeting, and I've owned it for over a year, right? Like, that's, so the only reason why we even got hit with these fines is because we went forward to pay a bill. So that's where I get at. So the people that go forward to make sure everything's correct and right, you're gonna hit them with all these fees. Again, is understandable, but how come now they're saying, if I don't agree to their terms, they're gonna pull the meter? Why didn't they pull the meter all this other time? That's monopoly. They can literally, they said that they knew she went to jail and they knew they weren't getting a payment. So why would you keep that on? And then when they said they knew that they've been cutting the locks off and stealing water, how come the meter wasn't pulled then? How come they let it build up until, they can literally let it build up for infinite until they own the house. Now that new law states that the water can go towards your taxes, right? And the sewage can go towards your taxes, then it can be held with a tax lien, you guys take the house back.
Which
That-
essentially sounds like what sewer is, right? Like the sewer fee is gonna be added on a house no matter if
Yeah.
anybody lives there or not.
So I noticed that last, we talked about new law. What are you,
Well, that's what they're saying, that these private assessments, you don't have that one? Okay,
We
well,
have a sewer assessment and a water assessment for 2022. And 2023's, but 2023's was paid by the owner prior to them.
So, when we went down there, even before I bought the house, this is a turnoff they did. The only difference, it went up 110, but I didn't pay this year yet. And that's what was coming back when I came into town to get squared away and start the process. But then, when this is all they give you, and they're saying, now they're saying it's not included, but the paper we have at home states that everything's included, even when we talked. And then when we went down there and talked, like the water lady said, well, we're under a new system. And they weren't even aware.
so that's not, I want to clarify, that's not a new law, right? It's a change in practice on how things have been done at the county level, right? So what the county did for years was they would assess outstanding sewer bills against property taxes. Statutorily, once I started digging into it, the appropriate way to do that is to assess it as a lien on the property. And it's technically a lien the minute that service is incurred, right? What we've started doing differently at the county level is actually filing that lien so that there's a notice on record.
Yes.
Of that lien, so if somebody goes to the registry of deeds office by property, it says Cherokee County has a lien for
Yes.
$2,000 for the sewer bills.
Yes.
So the law, just want to clarify, the law didn't change. The county's changed the way that they.
They're doing it, but when you have a person come in here and buy a property, before they buy a property, go through all these things 3 or 4 times, then take people to the property to check, structure and to make sure it's a good investment for my home, right? And then everybody, the people, just like that manager, I don't know her name, we just want to talk to you. She could have simply said, I don't know, instead of guaranteeing that there was nothing else. That's giving us the wrong information.
She guaranteed that there was nothing else on the tax side, because that's all we have is
But
2022.
she also,
We don't have it, we can't look at the sewer and we can't look at water.
yeah, but they went back to 2015 now.
Right, and all we have is 2022, which is, now is it considered a tax bill because it was assessed to the taxes.
But, and then what he's stating is that once the fee incurs and the payments not made, the should increase at that time of that date.
Okay, so how come it wasn't, they have not received a bill on their water since '09, and this is coming from them.
And this is
So
2022.
we have nothing to do with water.
Correct.
But
This
then
is
they-
sewer.
Yeah,
right
this
here.
is sewage.
Okay.
And they knew that she went to jail, they didn't reach back out, they didn't reach back out, so they didn't turn off nothing. They left the house vacant and they left the sewage on there at $35 a month. How is that fair if we can show proof that it's been vacant? That's monopoly. That's literally saying, they even said, oh, you can't turn it off, we can't cap it. If I went to the septic, I would have to pay for them to cap their stuff. If there's no way to turn it off and no one's living there, we can show proof that no one's lived there, why do we still gotta pay a bill? That's monopoly. How come we can't turn off the service?
So that's not monopoly. Monopoly is when one corporation controls the thing, right? So that's not a monopoly.
So you guys can just.
Inherently, utilities are monopolies. That's why they're typically ran by governments. You have corporation commissions that monitor them, all that, right? So not a monopoly.
So,
The fee is assessed per month, and I heard Myra say this last month. I went through the same thing whenever I bought my house, because it had sat vacant for a couple of years. The water district has a minimum amount that they charge every month for that service. Whether you use a drop of water or not, you have to pay a minimum bill.
yes.
I don't know how the sewer is set up, if there's a minimum
bill, yes, sir.
monthly, right? So
Yes.
that's set up by the fact that there is access to a sewer system, to a water system, you pay a minimum monthly amount. Now, the way the water district works, if that's not paid for X amount of months in a row, they say pull the meter.
Oh, no, they told me they were gonna pull the meter if I don't
Right.
agree to this, and then no one can live at that house. So why weren't they
Right.
pulled in 2010, 2015?
Right.
Like,
But-
they haven't received a payment since '09?
Those are, they're not private entities, they're set up statutorily, but they set their own rates, they set their own bills, they have meetings that you can go to.
Yeah, we already went to one.
Right.
Yeah, if you run out there.
They've got a name for it. Corey, do you remember what they call it? Like it's like a service license almost for rural water districts.
It's like a cooperative.
Yeah, it's like a cooperative, but like you have to, it's a cooperative, you have to buy into it. What they do is they basically pull your license if you don't pay that minimum monthly amount on the water side, right? And then you have to buy back into the program. That's what I had to do, right? Because my house sat vacant for years
Like a
before I bought it.
deposit kind of thing.
Yes. That's pretty much.
Yeah, benefit unit, I think is what it's called.
Basically, that's how we got it to drop 500. They said they'll wipe that
Right.
out and just charge us to
Right.
do that, and that's the best they can do.
Right.
So that's understandable, but what I'm saying is if you wanna say that they're separate identities or whatever, right?
Right.
If you, as an electrician, right, say it's electrician, if you don't pay that bill, they turn it off. I've had water in Arizona. If you get 2-3 months behind, they turn the water off. Then if you get caught cutting that lock, you go to jail. None of that was done, and she even admitted that they got tired of putting locks on there because they get cut off. So that don't make sense to me. Why not pull the meter then? Why say if I don't pay the minimum $100 a month, whether we use it or not, then they're gonna pull the meter? That's not fair.
Or if these special assessments were added from the 2022 charge, this house wasn't being purchased till 2024.
Yeah.
And none
When
of
did you
this
guys
was,
purchase the house?
here's a, so none of it was added on there until only the tax part was, but none of
No,
the,
it's assessments, and every time we
none of
asked,
it
they
was,
said
none
it
of it
was
was
included.
notified that the sewer.
That's my
was
problem, right, is
included.
because I asked and they said it was included. And I understand what she's saying, she don't know now, but I went in there and took pictures. You guys have a piece of paper saying it's 2.4% 9 on a debit charge for paying your taxes with a debit card. Right next to that, you can say water and sewage not included in taxes. Or just have the manager say she don't know. Just stop misleading people. That's all I'm saying. Because then you guys will stop getting complaints like us coming here all the time. Because then they'll be aware. I mean, that in my opinion is fair. Again, I'm not trying to stop this. I was just trying to build a house. And at this point, I can just pay the minimum fees and just let it sit there in the community. I mean, it's already a loss, right? But if this is the way it's gonna be, where everybody keeps trying hidden fees, which still to this day, no board, no one down in this office will give me a piece of paper saying this is it. And I haven't paid a dime because I'm waiting to pay something. You guys sit there and say, oh, by the way, in 1985, you get what I'm saying? That's not fair. I'm not trying to just dump all my money into something without even knowing where the end's at. That's all I'm saying. is I'm okay with, like, you know, the water company working, the water company working with us. You know, the sewage said that they would, but you guys apparently said no, which I mean,
How much is the assessment for sewer on your?
everything's changed. This is the latest, this is sewage right here?
Or she has the latest,
It's changed every time we went down there. It's, I don't know if it's gone up or gone down, but it's.
Sewer as of today with late fees and everything is $1,155.80.
Wait, what? No, that's not what we got, man.
I just printed it off right before I walked over.
Oh,
this
okay.
was last week we got this.
From the sewage though, right?
Yes.
So this is the last week assessment, like she just said. She just said it was 1,100, but our paper says 2,955.61. And it's been dropped several times. So if we just keep coming to the meeting, you guys keep dropping and then we'll pay, or?
I just have what they added to the taxes in 2022.
So let me see your tax statement.
Thank you. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to waste you guys' time.
Jake, here's a breakdown.
Yeah.
So you can see. Sewer was originally this, which is this one.
So this is what they're dropping to, right?
That's
Now that's what they wanted to.
8648. These bottom two, sewer and water.
And that's not even close. I mean, this is what Joe was trying to lower it down to in our last meeting, which again, you know,
When I talked to Joni said what she was mentioning did not include what was already added to the taxes, because she cannot touch what's added to the taxes.
yeah, but we're talking.
Joni
We're talking like.
can't touch this.
Yeah, but you're talking about 2,200 when the main bill was 25, which went down from 4,900. You get what I'm saying? It's dropped in half already. And I can care less about $100. I can care less about $1,100. It's a home, right? But to go from 49 down to 25 down to, we're gonna try to get it to 19, yeah, you can add that on there, but it's.
Where's this number coming from? 254806.
That's when she first told us.
That's when she first told us. First written, the first one was 39.
I
Joe.
thought I have the tape.
That's just sewer.
It's when I talked to her on the 22nd.
And I don't know what those sewer dates are, because it should not include 22 since she's already done the special on it.
Joni, come on up.
Hi, Joni. Good morning.
Hi, so what you just said is owed on taxes. Yes.
The
What's owed,
11,
the 2955.61 is separate from taxes. It's what's owed in sewer.
because what you gave them does not include what you've added to 2022 taxes.
Correct.
That's what I thought.
Correct.
So, yeah, and you know, like I said, she said she was going to work it down if you guys were, and again, all this money would literally go to a roof, so we can establish something in the home, so we get no more squatters, we get no more buildup of garbage. You know, because again, just since I've been back, we're literally almost $2,000 into a roll-off, a backhoe, a tractor, and Jim, the payment to Jim to come over and help after the backhoe and stuff got taken, and we found some more stuff that needed to be moved around. So, again, I'm not trying to not pay nobody nothing, I'm just trying to, everybody kind of work so we can get the house and get the community back in order. I hate to see the neighbors really, I wish I would have known the history of the house, of the people that live there. I learned that, next time I buy a house, I will go and do that research, because this house has been apparently a thorn in this community's side for well over 20 years. With drug use and everything else. And like I told everybody, we ain't trying to rent it out. I'm not trying to just keep putting families in there. I'm trying to finish raising my kids there. I only got 5 years left with them before the last one's 18, and I just thought it'd be a really nice home. That's the big thing, you know, the dollar store right there, the schooling right there. And the problem I have is not necessarily the fines, it's more of it always changes. Now, it has been going down every time, but.
It has never changed. It was never changed. I've asked that it be lowered
No, yeah,
to take off the
yeah.
fees, but as far as the baseline of $2,955.61 is what's owed. I've asked if we waive some of those penalties and they pay the 2 years of sewer at $1,896.
Yes, but regardless, you said it never changed, you just
That's-
changed it to lower it down, so.
Except for
it
that,
has been
but
changed.
other than that, the base amount is $2,955.61.
Yes.
I've never once said that I'm shutting it off.
No,
It's
not
never-
sewage, we're talking about water, ma'am, we're just talking about water, not sewage, I'm sorry, I get you guys mixed up. No, they never said that they were gonna cut off sewage or nothing like that. She literally said there's no way to.
There's no way for me
To
to know when a property sells unless a title company calls me or the individual calls me and says, hey, we moved out. So that's why I did not know that it had sold until you called me.
Yes. But, I get where you're coming from, but it's, either way, it still has been tried to be changed or changed. Not necessarily from just hers, but up here, right? When they said that it was all included in assessment, now.
The sad thing is you get separate bills. You get a tax bill,
Yep.
and then you get a sewer bill and a water bill, so
Yep.
you should, right there should tell you it's not included.
You're right, and then when I go here and ask these people, and they said, no, it's included, and they
Because
argue.
it was in 22 because of the specials being added on.
Okay, but you're saying in 22, this was just when I bought it, and it was a month before I bought it, so that was in 2024. That's
Because-
what I'm trying to say.
It's not included. It never has been included.
I understand that, ma'am. Maybe you should put a paper in that deal.
We
or-
shouldn't
or
have to put a paper in that deal.
Okay,
You
well,
get separate bills.
Okay, well then just have them people to not tell people that it literally is included when it's not. That's the problem I'm having is, in the office, in the tax office, the manager herself got involved and said it was.
And
not
told
paid.
you that it was included in 2022's.
Okay. But, yes, that's where we're at. And then I do also wanna say this, the $100 that both parties are asking, not including the utility usage, is $200 a month, $2,400 a year. And at I believe it was like 6,500 or 6,900 roughly the whole bill. This is gonna be the most I've ever financed. Never bought a car in my life, never had a credit card, never owed anybody anything. I paid cash and worked cash, right? Like I made my money, saved up for this property, bought it in cash. So the finance of the $6,900 something of somebody else's debt is gonna be the biggest finance I've ever had. I don't live beyond my means, and I just think it's crazy that I can finance somebody else's debt, which again, I'm not against paying, I just wanna know point blank, once I pay this amount, this is all that's gonna be owed, you guys can't come up and say
To
1984.
my office, it's all that will be
You know?
owed to my office.
And as of today, as long as the 1390.66 is paid, that's all that's owed to the tax office.
We can't speak for the water department or anyone else.
No, we've already went to the water meeting.
Johnny, what do they owe the sewer district?
$2,955.61
For the sewer.
for the sewer.
For the
Okay.
sewer? Is any part of that on this assessment?
No,
And Heather, the assessment, what part of this is to sewer?
Here's an updated one, 11:55
When was your phone off?
at 9:12 this morning.
9:20, so this was printed off.
This was turned off back in August 8/22.
This is
Okay,
9:15.
so
9:15.
where does that number come from?
This number, it's all here's the original bill, and then there's the interest and penalties that have been added to it.
Okay, so then you've got 115580, I don't have 1155.
No, because this was printed back in August.
Here's the next one.
This is, and then this one, and then this is current, because 10% interest is added over the whole year, so a little bit is added daily.
Okay. So this is the number as of today?
Yes, as of today.
And then this was the recent one, 9:15.
No,
Okay.
9/29.
Well, that's today, but this is what you guys gave me
Right.
the last time we were here.
Joni, the 2,955.61 that they owe sewer,
mhm.
how far back does that go?
It goes back 2 years. It goes back to, that is calculated from after 9/8 of 23, what is owed.
So of the 2,955.61 is all incurred after 9/8 of 23?
Correct.
Okay, 9/8, and this is 9/15. So then all those numbers should be correct, because this is from your guys' tax person here printed.
And Heather, this 1155.80 is all from 22? Or was it
Yes.
assessed in 22?
Yes.
And and you guys bought this place
Here, right,
24.
it's on your right.
So this is the date that it was filed.
Yeah, that was
Is
pretty much date purchased.
In the
March
back, you have the
25th, 2024. How does that affect you? We don't know what year that's from, that's just the date that it was added to the assessment though, right?
That year,
It should
that
be
year
for
was
2022.
20, that
Should be
year,
from
correct.
September of 21 to September of 22?
That's, 2023, yeah, 22.
Uh-huh,
You've got added, I got here that it's added that much.
yep, yes ma'am.
Yeah, it was added in,
And this is all from the.
October of 22, so that's 22.
So yeah, 22's taxes.
Right here.
They added that to the taxes, so it was
So
all the
that's
2022.
22's fees, sewer fees.
And then the 2023's taxes was actually paid by the owner prior to him. Cause there it was where it was added and there's where they made their payments. So the 23's was paid.
I need to look at a couple things if the board wants to move on to the next and maybe take this up at the end real quick.
Okay.
That'd be all right?
Yes, again, I'm sorry to be a nuisance, we really are just trying to move into his house, that's all we're trying to do, and if we get most of this way behind enough to have the roof done, once the roof's done, I can put windows and secure the property, no more damage will become to the home.
What's your plan on that trailer scrap that's there?
It's already been scrapped,
Oh.
if it
Now,
wasn't,
last week, the shell was there, the shell gone?
Yeah,
the
the,
neighbor,
it's like piece by
Gee,
piece.
they have to chop it down, it's not me doing the work, I, pay somebody to do it, I'm not trying to stir nothing up, the neighbor across the way, I'm not naming no names, has ran them off several times, the cops got involved, so the same neighbor that shoot off the dumpster saying we couldn't park our dumpster there, even though it was on our property, so the sheriff has been involved, and I just, literally, when I leave here, I'm gonna go check again, but he's called me twice saying that he's come out drunk, belligerent, yelling, so we are literally trying, and the only reason why we didn't just haul them off is because apparently there's a law, if you don't have a title for a RV, you cannot scrap it unless it's piece by piece. No wood, no copper, it all has to be separated, and we can't even just chop it up and throw it in the dumpster like we wanted to, because the dumpster people said no. So yes, I wasn't gonna do the work, but I was like, well, we don't have a title, but somebody just drug it here, so now we gotta pay to remove it. Yeah, no, that's insane. So yes,
A lot of
they said it would take,
surprises, huh?
yeah, well, they said that they were gonna be done within 30 days, and I think they got like a week and something left. I haven't been over there in a few days to check on the progress, but the last text I got from that gentleman is saying he got shoot off.
Was that part of the deal? I mean, they got the scrap for free to.
And then I
move it all?
pay him, yes.
Oh, so have you paid them yet?
No, I told him I ain't paying till then. I've been screwed over enough in my life. If you have a contract or anything and they ask for it all up front, I would leave. I wouldn't even pay half until they're on site, and that first half goes to materials. So no, I've been screwed over plenty of times. I'm not paying nobody till.
Well, hopefully they're gonna want their pay.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm kind of hoping. If not, it's over halfway done so far, because one RV is done, which I ripped that one apart, but I was like, that's just so much time. It's just not worth it. I don't know how people make money off scrap like that.
Mr. Sparks behind us, he helped us
Yes.
kind of tear that down.
The rest of the way. He's a very nice man. Very nice. Very nice.
I've tried to point out a couple neighbors that, it's so much improved from what it was. I know that was a heck.
It's been a heck of a work.
Short memory to forget what it was like.
It is.
It was bad, and honestly, as bad as you guys saying it is now, when I first bought it, it was 2 40-yard dumpsters just in trash in the home. Like, I've never seen so many diapers in my life. And it was literally grown over the bushes. The bushes grew over the trash, so it's been there for a long time. So that was the first time we got it, and then, I was gone for the 10 months, and that's when squatters came in and brought a trailer, another trailer, and put all the dogs in the house, and what animals. One of the neighbors said that the animals got taken because one of them died or something. And I'm like, I'm sure that will come back on me because I'm the homeowner, but I mean, I called the police trying to get them out, and they said they can't. Just like I talked to the water company about them cutting the locks, which they're aware that they were cutting the locks. So they said that they will do a police report with me, and I do go ahead and sue the person. Well, you're not gonna get nothing, he's in jail, right? So you're not gonna get nothing, but I mean, that's just the way life is, I guess.
Squatters rights.
Squatters' rights, yes, sir, who said that?
No, we're talking about.
No, that's 100% right, you guys will never be homeless in there in Kansas. Never.
Now that's Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Oh, they don't know their rights. Just all you gotta do is mail something to your house, and they have the right to move in. That's crazy. Which we also took the mailbox off, so they can't do that again. Or they took it off.
Yeah, if the board would like to move on with the rest of the agenda and take this back up at the end, I need to look at
So
a
if you
couple of
just wanna
things.
sit there or wait
Okay,
outside.
can we give you guys our number? We have to take a child to this, this
Sure.
first job.
How would you get Corey? He's your commissioner.
You wanna give me your number again?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna come back next week, I mean, we don't necessarily have to do it today, but
Honestly, once this is done, we'd like to pull the trigger on the house. I can't stay off work forever. If it's gonna continue taking forever, then it's gonna have to wait until my next 3 months vacation. And I'm really trying to, not gonna lie, the roof guy said he'll be done in 3 days. So as soon as I pull the trigger and get on the agenda, it'll take in 3 days. Once the roof's done, I can put doors and windows and secure the property with security cameras. But I can't do nothing because it rains so much out here, it just goes right into the roof. So that's what we're kind of waiting on. If you guys can just call, that'd be awesome.
I was hoping we could just take a vote, like, personally, if I'd be opposed to it, then that's where you guys stand.
Well, I mean, we got the sewer fees, we've got what was assessed on the taxes. I mean, you guys just need a total.
The total,
It keeps changing.
it just keeps changing. Everybody says it's not, but we have papers from their printers with the same date, actually before, 15 days before, and it changes, just like the stuff they gave them. And I get that it's gonna go up a few dollars. I'm not talking about a few dollars. The very first,
We've got
It's gonna
updated
change every
totals
day.
on the
yeah, but we're not talking about a few dollars. The first time was almost 10,000, then it went down to 6,900. I think we're right around 65 if I had to take a guess. So everybody's saying it's not changing, but phone calls are recorded and I have them saying what they said. And it's very simple to say they don't know.
so, as of today, they owe the sewer district $2,955.61.
Yes, sir.
For taxes, they owe $1,155.80.
That's just on the sewer side, that's not counting the property tax and the water that was added to that year.
Okay.
So can you get a total for tax, water, your sewer assessment, we've already got the sewer bill.
$1,390.66.
$1,390
And 66 cents.
is for,
Water, sewer, and taxes. And I can give you the breakdown by each.
Assessments that are on there, right?
Yes.
So on top of Heather's number, Joni, they still owe you owe the sewer district $2,955.61.
Correct.
You're double checking my math here.
Mhm. You got the main numbers right, so.
$4,346.26.
Is that not lower than what we've been getting? I know it is.
Well, then we have the water too.
well, then I'd be happy and pay it. and move
Well,
on.
and like I said, you may owe the water district, that's completely different. There may be an electric bill, you may, whatever, this is to get caught up on sewer with the sewer district for what you owe them that hasn't been assessed to taxes yet. And to pay the taxes that were unpaid, it's $4,346.26, right?
Yes.
Still lower than what it was.
So I think you came here for two things, to know what your total bill
Total
is,
bill is.
which you have, and earlier to ask for a financial adjustment on sewer bill and or fees. And I don't know where this is gonna go, but I'm gonna make a motion that we deny the request to make any kind of financial adjustment on the sewer bill or fees.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now that total will change come tomorrow if you don't.
Yeah,
pay
like
today.
30 cents. Yeah, but we're not talking about thousand, and this
Yeah.
total right here is still well under 10 grand from our first initial bill. So either way, go in the right direction.
Mark, we're all very sympathetic, it's just
We
that
are.
thing that if we cut you a deal, and that, what you were looking back was I think a clerical error, it was 10 years ago, that adjustment that you were pointing out, but we've really tried to treat everybody the same, and that's what our decision is based on.
Okay.
And we don't sympathize with what's happened with
Okay.
it. And again, we do appreciate you cleaning that up. That has been an eyesore.
I'm trying, it's
An
gonna,
environmental issue, like you mentioned, the diapers. We've had complaints about the neighbors about that
oh,
odor.
it's bad, but, I mean, after I pay this, the house is gonna be stuck in time still for a while. I'm just letting you guys know, that's fine with me. That's cool. If you guys really do care about the people and stuff, you guys should print out a sign and say special assessments, or just retrain the people in there saying that special assessments are not included, and not argue with people when they say they're not, when they say they are. That would help, and I'm sure people would stop coming here complaining to you guys. It's just knowledge, and if they don't know, just tell them, I don't know, that's not my territory. That would have helped a lot, especially over a year ago. Well, that's it. I appreciate you
Your
guys' time.
feedback is noted, and thank you, Jason. Well,
Thank you.
take care. Thank you, guys.
You guys have a great day.
Hey, did she leave?
Nope, she's back there.
Wow, we were running early on.
I'm here to talk about the possible cooperative agreement with the EPA for only flood, soil contaminant education. So basically just lead contamination education is basically what it is for. So we would contract with the EPA to provide education in the form of news stories, newsprint, social media, billboards, various different education for different organizations such as daycares, Head Start, schools, different areas where lead may be. Now, that doesn't necessarily include just soil contamination as well. That's the main goal, but we all know that lead comes in other forms as well. So when we educate, it's about all of them, where those individuals may come in contact with lead contamination. So in that agreement, they have set forth a total maximum that we could possibly ask for, and we have come in a little bit under that. We have come in at $69,833, I believe is the total that they will allow us to draw from. $69,833 off the top of my head. That helps to pay for salary of staff to perform the education, also for equipment that we would need in order to help test for blood lead if someone should come back and answer the screening that they may have possible contamination in their house or in their yard, or to find out if their child may be elevated, if they've had previous testings on well child checks that they have performed at about the age of 1 to 5 when they go to their physicians.
And then do you want this kind of shows what that way?
We've already, agreement's already in place, correct?
No, nope, that's just a work plan.
So we haven't, we still got to sign the agreement.
Right, and I have
If
to,
they get it to us,
huh?
waiting on them to get it to us.
That's it, right there. So that's the work plan. I have to submit that in grants.gov. In order for it to be approved, it's a non-competitive grant is what it is. So I'm just asking basically for the permission based upon that work plan and that budget to move forward to submit it to grants.gov to see if it would be accepted. And it is again a non-competitive, so. It would not take place until after January 1. Now, that is all dependent upon what happens tomorrow as well. So depending on if there's a government shutdown or not, it could potentially delay that. So,
Is this here?
yes,
This is, okay,
yeah.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
I'm 4 years.
I have mixed feelings about these. I think some of this stuff is, I mean, this is a lot of money for education, but I know how terribly, terribly important it is about lead contamination in kids and how it affects so much, so. I would be in favor of you're proceeding.
And it doesn't just, when we talk about lead contamination, I mean, individuals have to understand that yes, in our county, we've had a significant amount of lead contamination given within soils as well. But when we investigate those, when the child comes back and they have an elevated lead, if it's not in the soil, if it's not someplace where they live, we have to find out where it's coming from. Is it from the paint that's within their house? Is it within the pipes where they're drinking the water? Is it within some of the other articles that's in the building that they reside in, such as schools? You know, where is it in toys that they've gotten from China, you know, different places, you know, overseas? Is it from applesauce that we know at one point in time that individuals purchased the little squeeze pack that had high levels of lead in them because of where the cinnamon was grown? So we actually had kids across the state of Kansas that their lead levels came back very high. Recently, we know of one child that had an extremely high lead level, over 50, and the basis of that was because of the paint that was used in the windows. So the window sills that had peeling paint, that is where that lead came from. They ingest those particles when they're crawling around about the age of 1, and if we can get to that before they get any older, we can actually get that remedied, and then they don't have to worry about the long-term problems with that, with behavioral disorders, developmental disorders, things like that. So I mean, there's various different ways, and this is just a beginning start to try to help us to figure out where all those are. Because I'll be real honest with you, when it comes to lead paint and it's in the windows, there are virtually no resources whatsoever for parents to do that other than sand down the windows, make sure you use a wet sand method, make sure you don't inhale that, and it has to be stripped all the way down to the wood. Covering it back up with other paint does not reduce it at all.
Is that part of the education?
Yes, we talk about all of that. So we, you know, when we talk about the lead, we don't just talk about just one specific area. We talk about it could be in these areas. Where do you live? Where do you reside? What happens? And so I'll give you an example. One thing that is such a misconception that people don't understand. Last year we went out and we tested the various Head Starts for lead. When we asked the screening questionnaire, one of the questions on there says, do you live or reside or attend in a building that it was built before 1978? Galena Head Start, we'll give an example of that. That building was built before 1978. Several schools are built before 1978. I mean, if you look at some of ours within the county, like Baxter Springs, I know Lincoln School was built before then because I'm a 73 model and I went to kindergarten there in 1978. So I know that that school was built way before then. So with that said, when those parents answer that question, they don't really have any idea of when that building was built. Many of them answered no. Then whenever we went back and said, hey, this building was actually built in 1950, 1930, then they said, oh, they had no idea. But that child attends there every single day, or goes to school there, or various different areas, daycares, different places like that. So I mean, that's part of the education that we tell them. And we tell them, it may not just be from those particular areas. It could be from the pipes, as you guys know. It could be from a lot of different things. But the only way that we can figure out where it is and remove that source from that is to start eliminating that source. And that's the very first source that you can start with.
How many kids roughly tested positive for lead? I mean, you dealt with last couple, 3 years.
Oh, we always have a rotating balance for our epi-tracks of at least 40 kids at an ongoing time. Now, the problem with that we have is that we've noticed at some of the, so let me take it back a step. In those kids' well child checks, when they go in for a year, the parents have the right to refuse that testing if they don't want to have that testing done at that time. So therefore, that's a missed opportunity and we don't get them tested. We also have a lot of kids that travel across the state line to go to Missouri for the pediatrics over there. So when they go over there, there's that lack of that communication sometimes between Missouri and here because they don't think that they have to give that information over to here. And then we have to go through the channels of going through KDHE, to the Missouri Department of Health, back down to that pediatric to be able to get that. So oftentimes, our numbers don't represent a great number of actually what we actually have because those living in the area like Baxter, Riverton, Galena, most typically utilize pediatricians in the Joplin area. And so it's very hard to get that. So that's part of that education as to why. A second part of that is a lot of times new practitioners, sometimes they don't know that that's actually something that they're supposed to test for on those well child checks. Not saying everybody, but that's not something that they truly focus on. And I mean, when I went through nurse practitioner school, I can honestly tell you, that is not something that they focused on. It was something that was included in part of your
How do they
lesson plan.
test for that?
Typically, we start out with the screening, so you answer the questions,
Okay.
then we do a blood lead test, that's a capillary, so it's a finger poke. If that finger poke comes back elevated at that time, then if it's over 3.5 is what the level is, then we go ahead and draw a venous test at that time. If that venous test is over 3.5 to 5, then we have that chance to go ahead and investigate and sit down with the parents and say, does dad weld? You know, does he produce lead-based like fishing lures? You know, is there any kind of an activity or a hobby that could also bring that in? The dust could. So we sit down and we go over that with them because, you know, we've had a local person that came in that said, my child was high with lead 20 years ago, lead levels, because we didn't realize my husband was a welder, and at that time, that was something that he did, and we didn't realize the importance of taking the boots off at the door when we walk in. So I mean, it's just things like that
Things you
about
don't think
educating
about,
them. No, you don't. And it was the same thing with the applesauce. Many of them didn't realize that, but some of those kids were eating 2 to 3 of those little applesauce packages a day, and that's why their levels skyrocketed. You know, another instance is we have gas stations that are located within local towns that maybe they're not an area of, say, like a mine land site, like a Superfund site, that runoff from when we used to have leaded gasoline as well. That can contaminate the soils that are around there. If those areas are next to a yard or, you know, a school, that can happen. When I was in Coffeyville, Montgomery County, one of the schools right across the street from Sherwin-Williams, the paint factory as well. Kids were astronomically high and had to have actual chelation therapy at that time to be able to, you know, get rid of that.
What effect does it give on kids? I mean, what happens if they're,
So typically on kids, they can have various different things like as anemia, they can have behavior problems, they can have developmental problems. I mean, it's long-standing. If you can remove those before it gets to that, then they can be cured of that. So I mean, that kind of helps to deter that. As you become an adult, or as you have your growth bone patterns, as those are developed and that they are over with, you can't remove the lead out of the body. So you cannot take it out. So you and I that already have it in our body, we cannot remove that at that time. If we did, it could potentially cause things such as spontaneous fractures. So you could be walking, if you remove that lead out of your bones where it's porous, nothing goes in there to fill that area again. Therefore, when you remove it out of there, you have a higher incidence of breaking bones. So that's why they don't do that with older adults. They remove the actual source of the lead to try to lessen the levels. But you cannot remove that from the body once you're over a certain age. But it's important to do that whenever kids are developing their growth plates in their bones in order to be able to prevent that.
This is something Peyton's been working on a while, so this is pretty much an update unless anyone has any opposition.
Nope.
I appreciate the update. And while you're here, we're about to get into old business, so we'll just, Heather's. got one more,
Taxes.
I guess. But while you're here, one thing about old business is that, just to say that Mike has been looking in, connected with an architect in Joplin and just gathering more information, working with Peyton to look at flexibility on those plans. And so just want everybody to know that the ball is rolling in a slow way as it should to get as much information as we can. And we'll go from there. So thank you.
does she need a motion to move forward on the paperwork for the grant?
No, you
Paperwork
don't
or
have
maybe-
you don't have the paperwork yet, do you?
That is what I will be submitting to them. So
Right.
that's what I have to submit to grants, is that paperwork that's there.
Do we need to pass a motion that we authorize her to?
No, I mean, you're not signing any kind of contract with them? You have the
Not yet.
contract, okay, that's all we have to
That's
approve is
just
the
the
contract.
plan, that's all I have. And so then I submit it to grants.gov and then it'll either get approved or disapproved. But I just wanted to make sure that it's okay to go ahead and move forward with it before I
Yeah, there
Go.
doesn't need to be any action.
through the grants.gov process, which is a nightmare. So,
We thank you, ma'am.
yep, thank you.
She needs a couple minutes.
Should we hear it from that?
Yeah, she's doing a good service.
Hey, Robert, you just working with Clearway? Or you working with both solar companies?
I'm just contracted with Clearway. I don't know about the other one.
Okay. You know how many acres they got leased by chance?
Clearway? No, but I can find out. Just give me a second.
Okay.
I don't wanna give you a wrong number, Corey, so.
That'd be great.
No, you're fine. You're gonna bother me.
Somebody went all week. Somebody went on all week.
Yeah.
I've been out of touch with ants to visualize like a 2x4, 2x5 ant.
Probably not. Probably can't, it's not gonna measure up.
We can touch on a couple of old business items. I want to point out on the ambulance situation, I had a call from Sheldon Bill that invited me to, they were gonna have a special meeting. And he asked about the other two commissioners, and I said, we can all be there if we just don't speak. So we were all invited to a special meeting, and the sole purpose of the meeting was to take a vote on whether or not to open up the meetings. And they did vote unanimously to make the meetings public. So we were glad to hear that. The only conversation we three had before I left was cowboy boots, so I don't think we violated coma.
Lease ground is 2,200, but total build out is 1,500. And the reason for that is farmers will require you to lease all their land instead of just what's used for build out sometimes, or you lease more because of ditches, setbacks that, you know, they agree to for you guys. And then, so it's 1,500 acres is what the build out will be.
Okay.
But they lease more than that.
But they've got the option to put that on the total 2,200.
No, they won't. I mean, they could, but they don't because setbacks, so like they agreed to, whatever the setback was they agreed to, that encompasses all the acreage there. They have agreements with some farmers to hay, to allow them to still hay the property in certain in between fenced areas, so that all goes into it. They do runs for animals, so they provide areas for deer and turkey and stuff to go through, so that's all provided in there. And then you know, your ditches, your creeks, your rivers, that's leased because that's the property, but they don't obviously build anywhere near floodplain areas or anything like that. They have to stay so many feet away from any waterways, so. 2,200 is what's leased, but the build out's 1,500. That's where their build out's 1,500.
One other thing about the ambulance, have you, come up with a lease yet?
I have not. I will get that.
Last week we talked about the potential ban of hallucinogenic products that are in some of the stores. And I kind of put the sheriff on the spot that very day asking for his opinion, and he didn't have an opportunity to look at the information we were given, so Corey gave him his copy. And I texted him yesterday, and he has a couple of concerns that it's checking into more information, saying, you know, it could be an enforcement issue, nightmare, a lab nightmare. So I told him we're not on any particular timeline. We just gather information and we'll make an informed decision when we have everybody on board on the same page. Let's see, we have one other old business item. We do have the written resignation from the Lowell Township Treasurer. This is dated September 26th of this year, September. This is to give notice that due to ill health, I wish to resign my position as treasurer of Lowell Township effective immediately. And that's Cena Howard. So that board is entirely vacant, and we need to recruit. And I would suggest putting an ad in both papers of just one time anyway. I think what it's gonna take is getting on the phone and trying to let people know and try to get arms. But would you guys be in favor of, like, I was thinking maybe a 2x4 or 2x5 ad in the papers?
You need to make big enough where it's it.
Can we also put it on our Facebook page?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So I would make a motion that we put a 2x5 ad in the Galena Sentinel and the Columbus News Report advertising the 3 open positions of Lowell Township. And the information say, and applications until filled. Applications to the commission board room.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Thank you guys for taking care of that for us. And Heather, thank you for coming in here like you did to help us settle that situation.
He paid it too, so we're good on the tax side.
I know it gets confusing for people, but that's a problem when you move into a new jurisdiction. You're not aware of all the different things that can hit you.
It is.
The problem is they've had it for a year and a half.
So what do you have for us?
I need a 10-minute attorney-client executive session.
Attorney-client for how
Yes.
many minutes?
10, if that.
Okay. Is 5 enough? Or?
5 it could be.
Okay.
But then we always extend it.
Pardon?
We
Yeah.
go over 5, we'll extend it.
Okay. I would make a motion that we have an attorney-client executive session